7 reasons your teen won't talk to you about sex or open up about their love lives. So this is a parent that's like, listen, there's a lot of parents out there. You're starting to realize I haven't talked to my son or daughter about who they've been boning, which is obviously a problem.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I go out to my daughter, I go, how many dicks you take this year?
Yeah.
What are you doing to them? How deep? You know, you go on it, you get it, you hit in the back of the throat. What are we doing? We an anal? And then the girl's like, Mom, I don't want to. And she goes, well, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, what? Just talk to your mom
Talk to me.
about all the D's you're taking.
Yeah. So if you're a parent out there and you're having trouble, you know, having like graphic sex conversations with your teenager.
Here's 7 ways that you can kind of
See, this used to be like something where you go,
how you can kind of lube up the topic. And
let's see how you lube up the topic.
and just kind of slide it.
You know,
in
maybe
there.
you're not even the parent. Maybe you're a stepdad, you know? Maybe your the teenager's 18 and you're the 30-year-old stepdad.
Maybe you're just the teacher at the school.
Maybe you're just a teacher at the school, you know, the bus driver, trying to get those sex convos sparked. So the first reason that your teenagers might not want to talk to you about sex, they go, you haven't brought it up. You know, you just haven't talked about it. You maybe talked about the birds and the bees when you're in 7th grade, but you haven't talked about sex or sexuality since then. So a part of it is that like you might have gotten scratched the surface, but you haven't really like got to the nitty gritty. So the kids are sort of walking around being like, obviously I would love to get into the details of, you know, who, what, and how.
Sure.
But I just think, you know, my parents are
just
fuddy-duddies. They don't want to get into it.
Yeah, they probably just do it through a hole.
How big a load's you doing? You know, where are you putting the load? Your kids received the message that you don't want to talk about it. So there's a possibility. So they're not even potentially starting with the idea of like, yet hell no, the kids obviously don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah,
what kind of psychopath wants to talk to their mom and dad about sex when they're a
Literally
teenager?
just be like, yo, don't get pregnant. Don't get someone pregnant. That's it.
I remember my buddy, his dad used to always say, fucking make sure you double wrap it. We like always. It was this thing that he would always say. And it was like pretty well known at the time that that's not a good advice. You know what I mean?
Double wrapping is not good advice?
No, because it breaks. It's way more likely to break because they rub together, right? You know that. Yeah, everyone knows that.
Never double bagged it.
Well, you do it for the girth.
Never even single bagged it. I'm a dog.
The Dorito wrapper. Never even single bag.
That is funny. Imagine the kid like double bags and then gets a chick pregnant. He's
Yeah.
like, Dad.
Nah. He goes, well, you should have tripled. I told you.
It's like, have fun paying alimony, kid.
Yeah.
Just like your pops.
So no kid probably wants to talk to them, but their thing is that there's kids walking around like freaking parents won't even ask me about my sex life. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I would say that one's the first one. Probably not. Try something like, hey, I know I haven't talked to you much about your sexuality, but I want to start. That's a nightmare of a day, huh?
See, I think what I would do is if you're really into it, is I would plant like a fleshlight or like a dildo or like a butt plug.
And then your son goes, what's this? And you go, funny you should ask.
Yeah, see? You gotta just start the conversation.
Got some pamphlets here.
It's just a little icebreaker, as they say.
Hey, come in here. Me and your dad are gonna show you something. It's something we've been working on. Open up to page 67 of the Kama Sutra.
You're gonna want to stretch first.
Those
are some tough positions.
You're gonna want to stretch first.
Very advanced positions.
Yeah. Just grab my stepping stool here. I gotta get up here to the bar. Okay, son, do you mind help tying me into these ski boots? And you clink the ski. You basically have skis taped to the ceiling.
Got the zero gravity thing.
You have the zero gravity boots, basically. And then those are on the wall, and then you're sort of hanging down. And Dad's on the stepping stool next.
He goes, oh, I forgot to take my Viagra. And then he's like, I'm stuck.
Oh, no. The blood's all going to my head. Son, it's an emergency. I need you to go into the top drawer of your room. That's where I left it. I assumed you might want some, too. Assume they might want to start. You go, listen, I want to start. This is something your mom and dad want. It might make me a little nervous because my parents didn't talk to me about it, but I'm not freaked out by sex, and I'm not going to shame you. It's like your dad sitting you down. Listen, Danny, this is something we're talking about. Now listen, I'm going to be a bit nervous. You might see your dad jittering. This is not something my dad talked. This starts now. This is the generation that it starts.
We break the chains. This is when we break the chains. Also, it feels nice if you wrap a chain around your neck right before you're about to finish. But don't do it unsupervised.
This is where we
That's what happened to David Carradine.
His dad. You know what happens is the kid goes. His kid goes, help, help, help. He walks in. He's naked, jerking off with the belt. He goes, help, and the kid walks in. He goes, Dad. He goes, see, that was just a lesson. That's the type of things that can happen if you do this unsupervised.
Oh, that's funny. Nice little wholesome lesson right there.
It's a wholesome lesson now. Now you try. Like, he's got the kids. He's got a Maple Leafs tie. Pop your tie in there. You haven't even taught me how to tie a knot yet. That's second.
Hey, one thing at a time, okay?
No, you're teaching your kid how to tie a knot, but it's onto the belt loop. Oh, yeah. That's how you teach your kid how to tie a tie. Now listen, I know I might be freaked out. I might say something like this. Ah! Don't let that stop you from getting into the details, every last detail. Do not miss a drop. I want to know, what's her name? The guy's like, Dad, I fingered one girl. I fingered one girl, I think. You know what I mean?
I got pretty sure. I don't know.
And the dad's like, which finger? Pull it out.
Yeah. How many? One?
You can ask me anything, and if I don't have a good answer, I'll find it for you. So
the kid's like, I have the internet.
Literally, what are you gonna? Your dad's like, I don't know. I know nothing about sex. I'm not an expert. You're like, how do I finish quick? He's like, do not move. Dude, don't move.
I don't know if I'm just like so vanilla, but like, how much stuff is there to really know?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like.
No, you're a good point. Yeah.
How much stuff are we talking
moves?
about?
Because the only thing there's really to know is
you're
moves.
not true. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's up to you and whatever. Like,
I'm not talking about moves with my dad.
Yeah, we're talking about procreation, essentially. Like, this is pretty straightforward stuff.
I'm not sure what they want you to talk about.
That's,
like, what would the questions be? I mean, what is a teenager's question? Like, how do I stop busting so quick, Dad? And the dad's going to be like, if I had the answer to that one, I want to be with your mother.
Yeah, you're like, I don't double bag it. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. If I had the answer to that one, you wouldn't be here, son.
Yeah, I'm like, I just don't understand how much stuff there is to be imparting.
What are the questions?
I don't know. Like,
how do you unzip pants?
Yeah. I honestly, like, don't.
Do you face each other?
Lube?
Because you're right. The only thing lube. The only thing you could really be asking is like, positions.
Yeah, you're just like literally like, hey, this,
and you it's kind of what you do.
That's it. That's literally all there is to it.
You go, hey, I don't know, like, what do I do if I can't get it up from nerves? And your dad just like runs to the other room. Siri, what can I? Well, he's gonna Google it if he doesn't have the answer.
Yes, I don't know. Sometimes it happens.
Hit the bricks, Dad.
But again, you're like, is there even an answer?
There's not really good answer.
If you're like, is there? If
your dad's gonna tell you old wives' tales, like picture your grandma.
You're like, how's that supposed to help? You're like, I can't get it up. Because reverse psychology. You can't get your dick up. You picture your grandmother.
You picture your mother. That's what I do. If you're trying to, what do you do if you're gonna buzz too quick? You go, what I do is I picture your mother. I suggest you do the same.
What?
Well, I just look at your mother. If I'm coming to, I stop imagining someone else, and then I open my eyes and look at your mother. So I suggest picturing your mother.
There you go. Solid advice.
How long to eat for? I guess that's like how long we munching for.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I guess.
I stopped munching a long time ago.
Maybe like food you want to eat beforehand. You know, like tips for athletes. Like, you know, you're gonna want to have some protein.
This is all the stuff that like some like creepy adult said to you, like that's trying to be cool. They go, pineapple in there, make it taste good, and you're like, get the fuck out of here, you creep. We're playing mini sticks.
It's just unnecessary. 7. There's not 7.
Hanging around the skate park. You know what I mean? Telling you sex tips.
Yes.
So definitely, I'm not interested personally in having those conversations.
No.
And then they go, another option, they say, watching TV and movies together can be a great time to bring stuff up.
Yeah.
For instance,
hardcore porn.
Oh, obviously the first thing. Yeah. You go, your mom just keeps picking movies with sex scenes. Have you ever watched a sex scene with your parent? It's obviously the most incredibly embarrassing in the world.
That's the worst thing ever.
I'll just up and leave. You know, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
I'll tell me when it's done. The only way to handle it is to make it like funny, where you're just like, not doing this. Okay, you tell me when this is over, you perverts.
For sure.
Is this as perverts putting on for us?
Yeah. So when the kid gets up, your advice is you should grab them and be like, sit down. You watch. Do you have any questions?
Yeah.
And then like you're like, no, I think I'm good. You go, you need to have some questions. I don't know why you wouldn't have questions. So ask me anything.
You don't trust old Papa Bear? And it's not even your dad, it's your mom too.
Yeah.
So your mom, and the mom's like by the way, like super progressive mom because of what so it's like your mom,
and she's a blogger.
Exactly.
So you're like, anything you say is going to be used against you in this format. You're going to be winding up. Like, she's like, do you have any questions? And she's taking notes. You go, why are you taking notes if I'm asking you questions?
She got the recorder on.
She goes, just pretend this isn't here.
What are the top questions that you have about sex that's happening right now? Why are there 3 men? You go, interesting question. That's a video that I picked. I was hoping that you'd ask that. Why?
I don't know.
Why? She cuts her own sex scenes in with the dad and the mom. Why are you and mom in this movie? That's the eligible bachelors. What was it? The rich bachelors. My buddy's dad.
The rich bachelors.
My buddy's stepdad. I've said this story on the podcast before, but it was a while ago. My buddy's stepdad started acting.
Oh, yeah. I got in trouble too.
And then basically he didn't tell his mom that he got a job as the spokesperson for sugardaddies.com. And she just fucking saw it on the TV.
Wait, was he like in a hot tub or something?
He's in a hot tub with a bunch of girls. This guy's a 60-year-old Indian man. He's in a hot tub with 6 girls. This woman blew a fucking gasket. Yeah. She obviously wasn't putting it together that it was like wasn't putting it together that it was just an acting role either. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's insane. That's really crazy.
She's like, not only are you freaking out, you're rubbing it in my face. It's probably the funniest thing of all time.
That must have been a while ago, right?
Oh, it was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, that was in the days when they're like casting for this and they go, you know who we need for a sugar daddy role? A 60-year-old Indian man.
Who do they have now?
I don't know. It would be something like the opposite of probably what a sugar. I don't know. They would do like, they'd be dancing around it. It would be probably a woman. Like a fucking super hot woman. You go, this doesn't make any sense. And they go, yep, we're not getting in trouble for it.
But I think this one was pitching to the guys, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's who they think their target demographic is.
It's like, probably not that crazy far off.
Please open.
Please open.
Please open, but locally. Yeah. Please open, but in person.
Please open the hot tub. I know it's after hours. And then she goes, for instance, if a guy aggressively kisses a woman who tries pushing him away, share your thoughts and say, geez, this guy is aggressive. So her basically way is she wants to open up about sex, but she doesn't want to open up about sex. She wants to open up about, like, shouldn't do that.
Consent and
yeah. It's like, that's not the kind of questions that the kid has.
Yeah, exactly.
The dude, the girl has questions probably. The guy has questions about, like, how do I get this?
Sure. Yeah. Guys are just like, how do I get rid of the demons inside of me?
How do I make this happen for me? How do I do that? You know what I mean? And the girl's gonna say, and then the girls, I don't know what her questions would be, like, friggin',
I don't know, something stupid.
How long do I wait? Maybe.
Yeah. How do I know who's right?
How do I know who's
right the one?
I don't know what girls friggin' think.
And the mom's probably like, you want to just be a fucking huge whore.
Yeah,
you don't wanna, there's no such thing as the one. You just want to just get
there's
ran
There's
through.
the 1 and 2 and 3 and the 10.
Just get ran through.
And that's fucking this week.
Yeah.
You just say, hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with getting run through. Your mom, before you met your dad, tried every other guy in the book, same night.
It's nothing wrong with having sex with your stepbrother. You're not blood. It feels weird, but that's what makes it
so
so.
Mom's gonna give her just wacky ass advice, you know what I mean? And the son, it's probably like the son, she was like, you need to be careful. You get like everything. You do not make a move unless you have explicit permission. Daughter, take them all. There's no you go, whoever you need, whenever you need, you get on that.
Life is your oyster.
Men are pommel horses, and it's your time to ride. Save a horse, ride the hockey team. Watching TV can be a break. Great way to Great way to talk about that. Yeah, so it's NPC mom. 2, you've shamed and judged others. So one of the reasons is she's saying that maybe your kids don't want to talk to you because you've been like, oh, that guy, look at that little slut.
Yeah.
And then what her suggestion is that you apologize for that and then come back to the daughter and be like, listen, I noticed you haven't talking about banging lately. I think it's because I called that girl a slut. Just want to say she's not a slut. I was wrong. So now that we've got that out of the way.
Yeah, tell me about your escapades.
Now that we've gotten that out of the way.
Yeah,
hold on. She pours herself a drink, lights a cigarette. Okay, now go.
I'm not falling for this one.
Yeah. Let me know. So maybe she is, yeah. And the daughter goes, the dad's like, yeah, listen, I might have said some other girls are sluts. So why don't you tell daddy what you've been doing? She's like, I blew the whole hockey team. He goes, what?
You're going to fucking boarding school.
You said you wouldn't judge me.
Going to the monastery tomorrow.
There's one big hockey player that's from Newfoundland, and he kicks around.
Yeah.
He like went back home, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he went back home, and he's like a big celebrity there, right?
Yeah.
And apparently,
I think I know who the guy who he's retired, right?
Oh fuck!
I think he was in Letterkenny.
Maybe
he's like a big, yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name, but basically Paul was saying that sometimes it'd be like a girl, and someone would be like, "Oh, that girl you're talking to, oh, she's so smashed so and so. That hockey player smashed her." Yeah. But they're not saying it like they're not telling you.
It's like a badge of honor.
Yeah, they're not telling you the hockey player smashed it in a way to say like, "Well, just so you know, she's smashing all those guys." They're saying like good enough for him.
Yeah,
like,
get in there.
Yeah, it's like a big badge of honor.
Terry.
That's who it is.
Yeah, Terry Ryan.
No, it's not Terry Ryan. It's Terry something.
Terry something. I know who you're talking about.
That is who it is.
Yeah.
And he's a big badge of honor. It's kind of like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys just moved to the East Coast or just lives in Halifax and he's just running through the chicks over there.
Yeah. What's his name?
It's definitely Terry something. Danny knew what he's talking about.
I can't remember.
So the other ones, you've been too nosy in the past. So it's like you have to be just right if you want to. You can't be too nosy. You can't be too. It's like if you want your kids to be telling you every last little detail about their sex lives, you got to be just right.
Just right.
And then the last one, the kid just doesn't care about sex. They say, right? So you have to be just the right amount of nosy, right? So the first one you have to kind of be like, listen. They go, tell me who. He goes, listen. I don't need to know every last detail, but like, did he hit it? And I want you to open up just as amount you want. And the last one, the kids might not be interested in sex yet, so it's like you've been asking them too young. So you have to check in like sort of every morning. You just wake up, your mom's like right outside, you're right in your face with a pen and badge. He goes, yet?
You have a wet dream yet? Pitching a tent there, pal?